Here I walk up left into the wall in order to make one of the enemies at the top of the stairs not spawn, meaning that is significantly easier to get down the stairs, because AI control characters always engage into combat with enemies as soon as they are close enough to these enemies. So you just try to navigate them to be just out of reach for the purposes of them hopefully not engaging into combat with enemies. And welcome to the next boss. One of my favorite things about Secret of Mana actually is that it's kind of like a boss rush. Like, you run just past all the enemies. There's not really any grinding, it's just from one boss to the next, to the next, to the next. And there's so many bosses in this game, and it's always been kind of one of my favorite things. When a game just kind of cuts out the part in between bosses to, well, minimize them. So I prefer it this way. Alrighty, and welcome to the wall phase. So if you ever tried to defeat the wall phase with, well, physical weapons, you may have noticed that you were kind of not hitting the eyes. And let's put it this way, Secret of Mana does have very janky hitboxes. Like, not even a question, that's just how the game does things. But let me put it this way. The hitboxes are not the problem on this boss. The problem is that the game has a dice roll as to see whether you hit or not against certain enemies. Evasion. And unfortunately the game does not tell you about any of your misses or hits. So you basically just think, well, my weapon attack clearly connected, but it didn't do damage. So is that just bad hitboxes? The answer is sometimes, but usually it's probably the game just silently rolling a dice and saying about 40% of the time at this stage in the game that, hey, it just didn't hit. Too bad. And it's just... yeah. That's just how it is. Oh wow, thank you for the gifts up, A1JJ. Thank you. Appreciate that. And we're back. Alrighty. So, the wall actually is technically wind element, which is why he is weak to gnome. Which, the wall being wind element does not make a whole lot of sense, but I'm really appreciative that the thing is in fact weak to gnome, otherwise that boss would be a lot more complicated to try and fight. One of the convenient things is, I like to save often and frequently in these longer marathon-like runs. And you have to go to sleep anyways in a glitchless run, because otherwise you do not recover your MP in between bosses. This is different from the randomizer or the remake, for example, where you do in fact just recover your MP after you're leveling up every time. You do not in this game. And kind of like before, we just run over to the other place. Unlike the previous time, this is actually more optimal here to actually walk over to Gaia's Navel, because that is where we're heading, compared to taking the cannon travel. For a while, actually, it was believed that only a tool-assisted speedrun can make it efficient enough that it is faster to just walk over there, but turns out that's not quite the case. Especially as runners or speedrunners' skill level increased, they effectively managed to, well, save like 10, 15, 20 seconds by just running instead of taking the cannon travel all the time. And especially in a glitchless run, you also save a bit of money, so that helps. So what is the most important glitch in a glitch run? I think the most prevalent one is probably the overcharge glitch, where you overcharge your weapon and charge them up really quickly as well as preserving the charge attack. I guess technically those are technically three different things, but they all play into the same, well, thing in the end. Where, in short, you can one-shot all the bosses, if you're lucky enough, that don't have more than 1000 HP with your charged weapons, and you effectively don't use spells for combat. Spells are more consistent in a solo or one controller run, but they are still slower than just using overcharges all the time. So effectively, the one reason why, I would say the easiest category to learn is one player 2 controller. Even though the 2 controller might be intimidating, everything else about the run is significantly easier than trying to, well, do it in a 2 controller way. I forgot to level up Undine. I'm a dingus. Oops. I needed to cast some spells with the sprite along the way here. You actually do not get an early mana sword in the glitched category runs. Because getting that one actually takes you significantly more time than it would save. That's the short version about it. Alrighty, that is 5 more spellcasts for the sprites Undine. Which means we are 10 spellcasts into level 1. So it is 3 more spellcasts to reach level 2, which we're gonna reach on the boss. I was supposed to buy a fairy walnut somewhere along the way, and I kinda forgot about that. But you don't really need it per se. You still use spells for other things than damage. Yes, actually you do lock down a bunch of bosses by just casting slowdown on them over and over. Literally because it doesn't deal damage, it's actually useful. Because you can chain damage into the end of a spell cast. And also lock them down at the same time. Alrighty, welcome to the Scorpion Gang. So, we have a boss coming up where we will not have enough mana in order to nuke it all the way, because it is not weak to any element we have access to. So we're going to just use the strongest, most efficient element that we have, which is Freeze, which has... Well, the way spells works in short is, for the sprite, all of the spells have one spell that has the highest damage output. The other spells, generally speaking, have either lower MP cost or other special quirks attached to them as to why they, well, either cost more or less in comparison. So, effectively, we are going to be using Freeze, which is the most efficient, strongest spell. All of the other elements, except for Shade, their spells, offensively, don't deal as much damage for just 2 MP. Shade is the only other one that actually has the same base attack power in comparison. Alright. And now we just finish it off with regular swings. So this guy also has evasion. So 40% of the time, my attacks are just gonna whiff. And there's nothing you can do about that unless Kilroy decides to use Lunar Energy. Yep, that's what I kind of expect to have happen. Sprite just stands there and watches. By the way, fun fact, your melee weapon reach is doubled in boss fights. Good night, Sprite. So yeah, this is where I need a fairy walnut in order to knock this guy out more efficiently. But I forgot to buy one. Which means the Sprite is going to miss out on some experience. But we're gonna catch it up a little bit later. We actually do save 1000 gold through this, which is kind of a big deal. But also it cost me like a minute by not buying the fairy walnut. Hooray! Fossil likes friends. If you bring a friend along, Fossil is gonna bring you a gift. Right now it's only 4 possible gifts, but hey, those are fun too. But also you get at least 1 gift, even if you don't bring a friend along, because you're the friend all along. Honk. Not gonna lie, that damn Spiky Tiger made you rage so many times as a kid. Spiky Tiger is difficult, like genuinely. That thing is no joke. And I guess a kid had pretty much the same experience, where getting past that thing was a journey and a half. Like, it was genuinely really difficult. Okay. This is the part where normally I'm supposed to level up Gnome along the way, because I should be able to cast, well, Gnome spells. But I kind of forgot about that part. This is the slightly better optimization. So basically, I should have had Undine spells already at level 2, arriving at Kilroy, so I would have dealt significantly more damage. And stuff like that. Actually, I'm starting to wonder whether in a glitchless run it would be more optimal to actually only buy 1 Fairy Walnut for right here, because you absolutely want the Fairy Walnut for Jabberwocky. Beating it was a celebration, yeah. Spiky Tiger's mean. Like, I distinctly remember us buying all the healing items from everywhere we could find. I even remember for, well, grinding enough for Spiky Tiger that we were able to afford Fairy Walnuts, which we bought from Nico. Just because we did not know what Fairy Walnuts even did, like we didn't realize that they only refill MP and don't really do anything for HP. Buying 2 of these, get 1 of these, and restock on candy. But yeah, Spiky Tiger was a menace. Still is, really. Can you recover orbs later if you don't pick them in chest? You can recover them, yes. But it's gonna be a long journey to grind out even more rare drops in the Mana Fortress. Basically you want to get the Javelin Orb chest in Matango, the Whip Orb chest in the Emperor's Castle, the Axe Orb chest in the Emperor's Castle, the Glove Orb chest in the Palace of Darkness, the Spear Orb chest in the Gold Tower, and the Boomerang Orb chest in the Sunken City. Those are the latest ones for their respective weapons that you do not want to miss. Otherwise you'll have to grind out more of them. I believe in my very first 100% Seeker of Mana run, I actually forgot to pick up the Glove Orbs in the Palace of Darkness. So I had to farm an additional one in the dungeon, and that was kind of lengthy. Wait, I did not need to rest just now, right? With the Sprite, because Sprite didn't cast any spells. Oh well, that's okay. Puzzle friends, hello, and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well, I hope you have a good time, and well, let's see how this is going to go. I know what I'm playing about. Let's put it this way, I have a little document here on the side where I literally wrote a lot of these things down, because I might know a fair bit about the game, but I'm prone to forgetting things, and I also put a lot of these things into timer splits on the left side, so I hopefully wouldn't forget about it. Alrighty, Jabberwocky here. This guy is really dangerous if he decides to just cast a spell and nuke me right here, while the Sprite is recovering MP. 540 damage. So effectively, Gem Missile actually has less base power than the freeze spell from Undine, but this guy is water element, so consequently he resists Gem Missile. One of the saving graces about this guy is if I just get low enough damage rolls that it wouldn't kill him right here, the physical attacks can stack against Jabberwocky, so it can work out fine anyways. Memory is a faculty that forgets. Yep. So here I have exclamation mark 100%. Does that work? There we go. There's a glitchless tracker where you can, well, track my progress if you decide to later on, well, I mean, take a break or go to sleep and wake up later and want to see where I'm at. As well as there's various informations and bits of pieces that are kind of relevant. This enemy is scary and we need to be extremely careful while we kill him in seconds. The thing is, he could cast Acid Rain just in between me healing up, and effectively one shot. I think the sprite and the lady would not survive it. The boy might survive it with his current HP total and equipment. So it doesn't really make the Jabberwocky any less scary in my mind. Like, I have a clear plan on how to tackle him, I have ways to recover in case he does just kind of try to nuke me. But it's basically just the fact that he can do that, even if it's not the highest of chances, that makes him scary to me. Alright, welcome to the Upper Lands. We are done with the early game. Welcome to the mid game. Do I manually split or do I use an automatic splitting software? I manually split in this case. So if I forget a split, feel free to yell at me for it if you'd like to. If you wanted to set up an automatic split, I believe a bunch of people have created software which has like image recognition, where it can automatically split for you. But because this is not an emulator I can hook into for reading memory addresses, it would make it kind of a little bit more difficult at that end. Alright. This works out quite fine. Also, most of these enemies at this point here, they do hit decently hard, so a little bit sketchy. The boy actually has the highest of the defense of all of the characters so far. So yeah. There's the last Pebbler right there. The clearly not Sonic the Hedgehogs. Chest? I do believe they have a rare drop for a fairy walnut, but it's not usually worth it anyways to try and get it. Alright, so we just used up a bunch of MP with the sprite, and well, it would make it reasonably awkward to try and recover the MP right now, because we have to go back via cannon in order to be able to sleep at an inn to recover MP, which is, by the way, exactly what I'm gonna be doing, but there is a benefit to doing this too. After you unlock the cannon travel over to the Upper Lands, the Elder in the Dwarven village actually gives you a little gift. And that little gift is the Midge Mallet. The Midge Mallet will allow me to have an infinite source of using an item on a character to deny damage from spells and abilities, as well as pygmying a character, as in making them a tiny person. And effectively a small character has significantly reduced animation frames for casting a spell, meaning they both cast a spell quicker and they recover from casting a spell quicker. So it helps you quite a bit with that. And while we go and grab that Midge Mallet, we can also just rest at the inn here in the Dwarven place, which also helps to, well, not have to invest 1,000 gold for buying a fairy walnut. Hey DevTax, Happy New Year to you as well. Hello, and welcome to Isabel Fisk TV. Pet. Welcome to everybody. I hope you have a most pleasant day today. And tomorrow. Because this run is most likely not gonna be just 20 hours. This is my personal best run, which got ridiculously good luck. And we received a Mitch Mallet. Very nice. I did not actually in fact meant to use it, I meant to use the magic rope to get out of here. Whoops. Is this a recording? No. The recording will be once I'm done. I mean, this is gonna be confusing for the future people, because is this a recording will be a yes then, but right now, on the 31st of December 2022, this is not a recording, but it will be in the future cases. Best item jingle ever, it definitely is quite unique. May your just drops be merciful. Thank you. I hope so too. To the people on YouTube, yes, this is a recording. Also exclamation mark YouTube if you'd like to subscribe on YouTube. Subscribing on YouTube, by the way, doesn't cost money. It's literally just to get notified when person uploads or something. I don't know about you, but most of the time I don't subscribe to people on YouTube because I just occasionally go back and check various people's channels in order to watch all the things they have put up. So yeah, and I tend to, like anybody I do subscribe to, I more or less immediately watch the thing they put out as a video. But that's kind of why often I don't subscribe to channels, even if I watch them regularly on YouTube, just because it will kind of fill up my inbox with stuff that I want to watch. And I don't have that much time to watch stuff. Alrighty, one thing I will say is I kind of wish the cannon travel from where we just flew from actually didn't override the cannon travel to Gaia's Navel, but instead overrode the cannon travel to the Water Palace. Because have you ever done or taken the cannon travel to the Water Palace? Oh, by the way, we have to go in a circle in order to open up the passage over there. I guess to the Water Palace when it's not from Gaia's Naval Cannon travel. Alrighty, this next boss here is weak to Gnome, as well as does not have as much maximum HP as the previous two bosses. So Springbeak here is actually going to be a relatively easy customer to just knock out very efficiently. And even though I just picked up the Mitch Mallet in order to be able to cast spells quicker, we're actually not going to use it here, because this guy here does not survive more than just a few spell casts. So it's actually not worth using the hammer for just a little bit of animation frames. Also, I should have finished off with an Ursulite. A little bit too late. That's okay. By the way, our spells can only level up to level 2 right now as a maximum, because this is kind of limited by how many mana seeds you have recovered so far. We're going to recover the third one in just about a moment here, which means we will be able to level up spells all the way to level 3. But we also get a new spell element here with Sylph. And Sylph will allow us to, well, cast wind elemental spells on enemies, which is actually reasonably important for a variety of bosses, including the one that is just about to come up. By the way, these orbs don't just allow you to level up to the next highest level for spells, but they also give you a slight boost in your stats for defense, attack, offense, just in general they make you slightly stronger, which is also kind of convenient. You might have noticed at the very beginning of the game where I was dealing 18 damage to enemies whenever I hit with the sword with the boy, and once I came out of the water palace I was dealing 19 damage. You're glad you're not the only one, despite all the years you've been using YouTube and only recently subscribe to exactly one person, and that's because I'm their editor. You see. Makes sense. Yeah, basically I only really subscribe to people on YouTube if I specifically want to watch every single upload they have. Like there was a variety of, let's say, Let's Plays channels that I like to binge watch occasionally, but I actually don't like watching their stuff until they are like done with the entire Let's Play, because I don't want to get stopped in the middle. Alrighty, we're gonna level up spells here with the sprite just a little bit. Actually, I think casting Silence is slightly quicker. Silence doesn't deal any damage, and it makes the enemies just jump the wrong way. I did not think this one through. But Sylph is the first element that is kind of really awkward, honestly, to try and cast spells with. And the reason for this is because the Air Blast ability... Why did that take damage? I am very confused. I know why, but it's still confusing. Either way, the Air Blast ability is very, very cost efficient. It's basically the equivalent of Gem Missile in terms of how strong it is, so it's not as strong as Thunderbolt when you cast it as a spell, but it is decently strong. But because each one of the projectiles has to reach the enemies in order for the spell to actually take effect, it makes it really awkward to cast that spell, because you can't really recast or cast the next spell until those abilities land, making it a little bit awkward. We do want to level up that spell up to the next level threshold here, but we also want to get enough experience and money along the way to be able to afford a little bit more safety than you usually would in a glitchless speedrun. So that's kind of the main reason why I'm taking slightly more time here to knock these enemies out, because they give really good experience right now for the part of the game we are in. Well, at least compared to the enemies that we had access to previously anyways. Everything will just be overshadowed by the next enemies we're going to meet in terms of how much experience and money they give. That's just how it works, I guess, in progressing in an RPG. Enemies get stronger, you also get more rewards from them. And we are still slightly under-leveled compared to where they are, and we have really not really much in terms of equipment either. So I'm just trying to get by without getting hit, which often requires me to take very strange routes and movements in order to coax the AI control cactus to get past the enemies as well. Coax. I guess it's like you say Coca-Cola or something like that. What's your favorite level 9 animation? Actually, that's probably a good question to ask everybody. What is your favorite level 9 animation? Alrighty, so here we want to buy fairy walnuts. One. We actually still have one, so we only need 3. We're going to buy consumable items. This is the first time we actually can buy safety items. Previously, I had to spend quite a bit of time in order to be able to afford safety items, but here's the first time where I can actually buy cups of wishes without having to worry too much about it, to be able to use those. Also worth noting, the sprite right now has 10 spellcasts in Sylph. We need 2 more to level up to level 1, and I do definitely want to do this. Also, This is where we have to pick up a chest. If we do not pick up this chest here, we will have to grind out one more orb in the Mana Fortress. Acquire the Javelin Orb. Alright, let's see. Burst and Loosened Beam are your favorite level. I like to call them level 9 spell animations, because the way it works internally is a little bit strange, but 8.99 is, I guess, accurate enough. Loosened Beam is a really fancy one. Pretty good Dark Force. Dark Force is really good too. Fireball with the Flaming Dragons are kind of neat. Honestly, right now my favorite is actually Earth Slide. Like, it's literally just the same, except the rock has a little smiley face on it. It's great. Alright, we get to recover our MP here again. And I'm considering just leveling up or going outside for one more short grinding session. It's probably not necessary, but especially for the section right after this, it could be reasonably important to, you know, survive. So I think I'm gonna do this. Just gonna have the sprite cast some more spells, and I'm also going to go ahead there's 2. So these crabs, by the way, if they drop us an item... Ooh. I actually don't know what the analyzer level is for this. But basically... I hope this is enough. If the chest is blinking red, it is blinking red. Okay, this means the trap has been disabled. This is another way of disabling traps, basically. And the common drop from them is actually... I'm a dingus. Ah, no. I wanted to use a pheromone, not to recover the sprite's MP. And then open the chest. That way I wouldn't have to backtrack here to sleep again to recover MP. Like, I was so excited to get a chest right there that I could skip this little trip here, and then I just forget to actually use the fairy walnut. Their common drop is the fairy walnut, so that means it is... Well, as long as we don't get the rare drop is 7 in 64. Like, about 85% of the time we would get the fairy walnut from them. I could have just saved one. Oh well, it's fine. Also, please don't knock out the sprites, still need them. Trying to maneuver past these little mushroom planes, or whatever you want to call them, is kind of tricky. Especially the sprite is not doing the healthiest right now. We have no defense to speak of. The sprite only has one piece of equipment, the weakest one still. And this does mean that they will get smacked around by enemies with high damage rolls at all times, basically. Please let me through. Off-center sleeping again. Yeah, it's always fun to try and sleep as far off-center as you possibly can. I did not mean to do that. There's exactly... So the reason why I couldn't enter that staircase earlier is because AI control cactus, if they are running, or actually cactus if they are running in general, are moving 3 pixels per frame, or per movement. And you need to be exactly aligned with that wall in order to be able to not to get down the stairs. So they effectively were just keeping themselves away from the wall slightly further by running rather than walking. Sprite is going to get knocked out if I don't heal here, so I'm just gonna heal the sprite for safety. Hurt the sun. By the way, I could not use spells in order to heal the sprite here, because it would actually override which spell I cast last for the purposes of activating the orb. It's a little bit strange, but that's kind of how it tends to work. Alright. Welcome to the Big Viper, snack friend. So, this is where it is especially relevant that our best, most efficient damaging spell is not the strongest, and it also has a really awkward animation. But this guy is weak to wind in particular, so I'm trying to have the... Oh! Sorry, we're still good, still fine. This thing also has over 1000 HP, so... Okay, come back, don't run away. He did come back. Still running away though. Okay. Just gonna bring the boy far away. Once again, the sprite is invulnerable while casting a spell, which is incredibly helpful in this scenario. I do believe this is not enough for fairy walnuts here. Alright, we're good. That was close. Sprite almost got eaten there by the big snack. Also leveled up itself, and this should be pretty much it, I think, with this spellcast. One of my favorite things about this game is where your spells change, like, visually. They become more powerful visually, the higher level they are. Alrighty, it worked. The sprite absolutely could not get hit by the boss there, because if you pygmy cacti, they lose all defense. To be fair, the sprite doesn't have much defense to begin with, but because that boss can hit like 3 times in very short succession, it could just effectively knock out the sprite in one attack combo, if you will. Also, a little fun fact about the text box coming up there, the king mushroom decides on the name for Flammy. That was actually supposed to be a choice, where you say, or you say, not bad to the suggestion as to what the name is supposed to be. And it's kind of, like right here, this is that text box. You're supposed to be able to choose, but you just kind of by default always choose, I actually don't even know what the text is for not bad. Good. Yeah, it's really weird. It didn't actually occur to me as to why it just always said, not bad, and then he said anyways, that's like, hey, don't be like that. It always looked odd. It does. Favorite game? Yes, please. Let's go. So this is where, in a glitchless speedrun, my personal route actually upgrades the sword to level 3, but I really do not want to do that. Actually, level 3 is fine. Level 4 would be a disaster if I upgraded the sword to level 4. Oh, right, I don't need to. I'm still muscle memorying my way with the 1-player 2 controller in mind, where I normally have to equip the axe right there. It's been a while. Restart and choose the other option. It's kind of difficult when you don't get the option. And good day, Hell Clan, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Only one controller this time? Yep, 100% run that I've never used 2 controllers so far. I would be using 2 controllers for a glitched 100% run. And I actually would have to specifically play that on the SNES to be able to use the multi-tap for that. Because there's certain chests you cannot reasonably reach with all the multi-tap. Not in time in order to make a difference anyways. Alrighty, we are in the desert. Basically, this is a forever looping desert, but the short version is you want to get back to where you started, but from the left or the right side. So we go up, left, down, right. There's many ways how you can do this, but this is just kind of the quickest way. Or at least I think it's the quickest way. It's the way I've always done it as a speedrun. Also, a little fun fact, I did not in fact need to sleep in Matango because your characters get fully healed after you get separated here. I just forgot about it. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Or if you are playing Zelda, up, left, down, left. I think. Or is it left, up, down, left, up? Multi-tap to connect 3 controllers. Actually, multi-tap to connect the 3rd controller specifically. I wouldn't be using 3 controllers at the same time for a glitched 100% run. I would be specifically using the 3rd port, which has some odd quirks attached to it. Gray. By the way, if you hold down the B button and the R button, or the B button and the L button, you actually always look in the same facing direction. So right now I will be able to hold down the L and B button at the same time, and the boy just doesn't switch facing direction, he just keeps looking up the entire time. Does it do anything? Well, it actually helps you very, very mildly for positioning against various bosses. For facing direction purposes, like Boreal Face might be the most useful part for that, but for the most part it doesn't really do anything. Everyone on the ship is lucky that they are ambushed by the Empire, else they would starve after the Sprite's kitchen incident. Probably. In German they are telling each other so lame jokes on the ship. I have not played the German version in a long time. Maybe I should play through that version sometime, just kind of as a... as a little event or something. Either way, welcome to Mech Rider number 1. This guy does not have any particular elemental weaknesses and just under 1000 HP, which means this is not gonna be enough for damage if I just send an entire volley of freezes his way. But it actually does get us reasonably close, and I will be using Gem Missile here to finish him off instead. You're pretty sure this guy is weak to free spam? Well, not elementally weak. Also, he would be dead already quite a while ago, but I'm basically just using this opportunity to keep spamming spells to, well, just level them up along the way. Because this is more or less exactly what I will be doing anyways, to level up the spells all the way up to 8.99. So whenever I have an opportunity where I don't need the MP for later, or I'm going to recover them anyways, it kind of might as well. Just continue casting those spells. Actually, this reminds me, what I should be doing is I should also exhaust Lady's MP. Just kind of cast her spells as well. So I think we need to buy 3. Yeah, 3 fairy walnuts. And we will need more money a little bit later, so I'm not gonna buy anything else. We could buy a very slight armor upgrade, but it's not gonna realistically make much of a difference. So there's that too. If destroying the world's mana is the price to pay for cool hover bikes, sign me up. I mean, I don't see any magic in real life, so... I hope we get the hover bike soon. Actually, we already have hover bikes. The problem is that friction is actually somewhat useful for maneuvering. Alright, once again we sleep here to recover our MP, because we do not get MP back otherwise. Right. And this is where we hope that the wolves don't just murder us. Emphasis on hope. It's just like immediately. This is where it's convenient that we have cups of wishes. I mean, honestly, them dying really quickly is more preferable than them just sticking around and getting beaten around for a while longer. The downside, of course, is if I make a mistake and get the boy killed, then that would be even worse. I spawned this guy up there, so hopefully less enemies are in the center, and that kind of worked. So I'm gonna revive the sprite here, because we kind of need them for nuking the boss right here. Because the boss for some reason actually initially spawns in the center. And this guy also has a tremendous amount of magic defense. Oh, I should have not leveled up, no. Hindsight. I should have actually trained freeze against Undine. Because now I'm finally starting to deal a decent amount of damage with level 3 Undine here. And if I actually used freeze against the mech rider, this would be a lot more efficient right here. Oh well, I'll probably invest the time anyways to level up Salamando a little bit more. So we'll be fine. Bowie the hero! Thank you for the rain into the host and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. What were you doing over there, if I may ask? Good morning, good evening and good afternoon and welcome to Seeker of Mana, where I'm trying to do the entire game 100% in one sitting, which is probably going to be about 24 hours. The splits are from like 2 years ago, where I got ridiculously lucky. So 20 hours is probably the exception. Right, if this is not enough, we're actually going to finish off the Boreal phase here with weapon attacks. I hope this is enough. It was enough, okay. We actually want to stay all the way at the top here for quicker leaving off the area. Hello, good luck, thank you. And welcome, Bowie. I hope you're doing well. Actually, hang on. There we go. Make sure to check out Bowie. Very pleasant people around here. And we get a new set of spells here. Question mark. Welcome to Salamando. Salamando is, well, reasonably obvious going to be very useful against the upcoming boss, which is the Frost Gigas, whatever you want to call him, and we want to train Salamando along the way. The thing is, the inn is kind of far away from here, so we don't really have an efficient or easy or, well, cheap way to recover MP. So our best option is actually a Neko that is just north of here, that sells us fairy walnuts for 1000 gold each. And that's kind of expensive. I'd like to get frost weapons for the upcoming section. And for the good music. This music is so neat, I agree. Nice, okay. Alright, that was almost disaster. No. Oh no. Alright, so the sprite needs to cast a bunch of spells. So, fun fact, these wolves are in fact not weak to fire. As fiery as they look, the turtles in fact are weak to fire though. So my goal is here actually is to buy a few fairy walnuts. I think I can afford 2, maybe 3 right now. I can afford 3, which does fill me up. Actually, no, it doesn't. But it should be enough in order to go through the dungeon on the right side. And we do want to try and defeat the bosses along the way. We could technically get lucky that one of these weird gas clouds out here might give us a chest drop if we dare to actually sit around and try and hit it. But of course the danger is for this to run into enemies that just nuke us. I need to revive them. The lady dying here is less of an issue compared to the other enemies. Oh, this is not good. As you might be able to say. I think the boy actually did not get hit there. Now he got hit. This might be fine. Alright. This is real sketchy here. I did just save, but I would preferably not have to immediately use this here. Get the sprite slightly closer to the entrance. Revive them here. Wait until the turtle arrives. It will always stop before it goes there. And we just knock it out with 2 fireballs. Oh. Sometimes you get high enough damage roll that you only need 1 fireball. But this both gives us safer passage through this area and some levels and experience along the way, which can be helpful. We do need to use the fairy walnuts to recover MP. This also means this should be 6 spell casts. Actually, we should have level 1 fireball now, right? We did not. Did I do wrong? Oh, I think I have 4 HP. Whoop. Let's go. That's fine. Please don't miss. I missed. Actually, I didn't miss. She just deals 0 damage because she doesn't have as good of an attack power as the boy, especially not with a weapon here. And yeah. Okay, I hit. That's the tricky part. Get the total, please. I need level 1. Oh well. Use 1 more. Alright. Sneaking by. These books can do physical attacks. They don't usually, but if they do, Sprite would survive 1 attack, I believe. Okay. I was healing there just in case the Sprite got hit by an additional attack. The problem is, the more time we spend here, the more the enemies have an opportunity to continue attacking. Alright. Looks like we're fine here. Those turtles have 180 HP, so I was just dealing slightly too little damage. Okay. So now we actually do want to revive the boy here, because this is where I'm taking the slow but safe-ish route to try and deal with these things. Also, the sprite just leveled up. Salamander to level 1, this is what I want for the boss. That means it was just now 12 spellcasts. And this is ridiculously laggy in here, unfortunately. Please do not kill the sprite, we still need them. This is going to kill the sprite, I'm pretty sure, so I need to heal preemptively. That did not in fact deal enough damage to... Oh yeah, these are early game enemies, I guess. Alright, now we need to get all of the cactus in the same spot, please. This is very inconvenient. The enemy on the left, by the way, is completely blocked in. Like, they can't do anything. Oh my goodness. I'm messing this up royally. Like, I'm trying to put them all in the same spot. I think it would have been more efficient at this point to just have them get knocked out now. Basically, I want to hit all of them at the same time. I did not even know the guy on the left could attack you. Like, I genuinely had no idea. Wait. No, it doesn't. Please stop. Also, both of the enemies there just ate the lady at the same time. And the sprite's gonna die now. Jeez. You guys are annoying. And I'm not playing this particularly well either, so that is on me. But AI control cactus just dashing around like crazy like that really does not help my case. Like, I'm trying to just put them all in the corner. But AI control cactus love just running around for no good reason. So maybe this is good enough now. Finally, this is what I wanted all along. Holy cow. At this point, more like delicious hero. Yep, delicious heroes. Very tasty. But eventually the Yoshis will run out of magic. And we're gonna be fine. One of them decided to take a nap. Like, we don't even kill them here, they just take a nap. And then they teleport into Dreamland. I think that's how it works. Oh, that was a mess and a half. This is where more practice with glitchless runs would be really helpful. Because with glitchless runs, you would actually just nuke one at a time, and it's reasonably efficient. You do actually need part of the lady's MP pool in order to be able to accomplish that efficiently, so there's that too. They are teleported just outside of the Ice Palace in Toltus Gram. True, that's how it works around here, doesn't it? Okay. Alright, we got lucky. If the sprite didn't hit both of them, they would have probably started chasing us like crazy like that, and turned us into snowmen. The sprite would almost certainly get immediately knocked out by them, if that happened. But we're good. We're fine. We're okay. We're not dead yet. Damage cancel is not considered a glitch, no. Because imagine a character gets hit by a spell. What do? You heal them, especially if they're low HP. I've hit the wrong button. Like, it's super awkward to try and not cancel damage. So the assumption is at this point it's just part of the game. That's what you naturally do. Alright. Welcome to the Fire Gears. And we kind of have a similar issue compared to the previous Snake boss, where Fireball just needs to land. And it's kind of a little bit awkward to try and hit the fireballs. I use one Lava Wave, which, by the way, Lava Wave both costs more MP and it does less damage than Fireball. But it locks the boss and enemy into place for slightly longer, which can help you with trying to recover your MP in between spellcasts. So I should have actually kept Lava Wave, for a little bit longer there. We're gonna take a freeze to the head right here. But while the sprite is casting, this shouldn't take any damage. Yeah. I think he's giving me weapons. That is not a weapon. Oh, we got him. Wait, really? I only used one fairy walnut. Did that just get really high damage rolls or something? Thought you need more than one fairy walnut to knock him out. Is damage stacking considered a glitch? No, it's intentionally programmed into the game that the damage numbers add up rather than getting overwritten by each other. Locking down the boss is just, well, a consequence of how the game system happens to work. Isn't it too late to save Christmas? We saved Christmas for 2023. This is a run into the new year. It just happened to get corrupted right after Christmas, right? I think that's how it works. Alright, cross the weapons and hope that we can freeze those enemies before they hit us. Yeah, partial success. Only the boy got hit, which is actually kind of unusual. Usually the other ones get hit. Case in point. He got hit again. Uh-oh. How did you do that? The sprite just stabbed in the other direction and hit the dude behind him. I know how that happens, by the way, in case you're curious. Normally, you don't like stab attacks in this game, because stab attacks are both slower, have less range and less like coverage for how you hit the enemies. The one very niche use of stab attacks over using... Oh my goodness, sprite is dead. I'm dead. Oh no, I have to redo the Ice Palace. I didn't realize the lady was also at low HP. The one very niche use you have for... stab attacks is when... My goodness, my brain is not working while trying to play at the same time. Sorry for the interruptions. Either way, the one very niche use we have for stab attacks is because it gives you brief invulnerability against melee attacks. Very, very brief invulnerability against melee attacks. I should have used a different element right there. Oh dear. That's very, very, very inconvenient. On the bright side, I know better what I'm doing now. Oh, I say that, but I'm really not sure about that part. That was a low damage roll with the spell, which unfortunately that does happen. But we need to level up the spell to level 1 anyway, so we're good to go. I get to save Christmas again. Yeah, something along those lines. The bright side, this time the boy is around, which he has a much higher accuracy and damage output, so hitting this blob here is less of a lottery. There we go, for the second try. By the way, in case you're wondering, I'm intentionally running too far over there. Because air control cactus hate getting past enemies. They always want to engage into combat with them. But running is one of the few ways you can manipulate their movement reasonably efficiently. So I just intentionally run way too far so the AI control character catches up. Alright. This time we're trying to put these guys into a more appropriate position. Right off the bat. We need to deal 300 damage to them for them to transform. Also, considering that I do in fact need to cast some more spells, because I did not nuke as many turtles. This could just be fine this way. This guy's gonna transform. No, why did you stop running into them? Seriously? What is wrong with you? This is so annoying. Oh, now that guy jumped down. Now you are over there. No, both of them are eaten. I got eaten. By the way, fun fact, the sprite is now invisible right now. And can't cast spells. And consequently actually avoid the damage. Oh my goodness. Let me just nuke one of them, I guess. Because I clearly don't need all the fairy walnuts anyways. Alright, one of them is down. Should have probably done that to begin with, to be honest. Because getting just two into the appropriate position is much easier. Don't quote that, because I didn't nuke enough turtles out of context. I mean... yeah, these turtles are mean in this game, but normally dogs are friends. I bet right now, me calling turtle dogs, most people know what I'm talking about. But in a few years when people watch this back, it's just probably very confusing. I guess it might be very confusing right now. You will say the sound design for hitting the enemies is great. That chunky crit whack sound is just perfect. It's really satisfying, I agree. Like, the music and sound design by themselves is really good. The main limiting factor is the Super Nintendo hardware not being able to properly run all of these things at the same time, and just cutting out one in favor of the other occasionally. Alright, almost back to the Frost Gigas. That is not good. Pride is gonna die here. I have 3 cups of wishes. Alright, we survived. That is actually a bonus. By the way, these green clouds are weak to fire, the other ones here are not. Also, this time I'm not even going to forget to pygmy the sprite first before walking in here. That way there will be immediately a pygmy person going into the the Frost Gigas fight. I do not want to fight the Fire Gigas again. Fireball. Oh, he teleports away immediately. I actually have to wait. The previous pattern was so much nicer. So the optimal thing to have happen here is going to be the Frost Gigas landing on top of the boy and then casting his Frost Breath. That one. I think he's gonna hit the sprite actually. Yep, he did hit the sprite. Which is a mild issue because we have a tiny snowman now. There's a sprite for the characters being pygmied and frosted at the same time, which is kind of fun. Alright, now we need to recover the MP for the sprite. And... which one are you gonna cast? Oh nice, thank you. So fun fact, Frost Sabers, like the idea obviously for this boss here would be normally that he is casting Ice Saber on your character, and consequently you would expect to deal less damage to the Frost Gigas here. But this is in fact not what is actually happening. You in fact deal slightly more damage than you would otherwise would, because elemental damage in this game is in fact not a thing. I did not have enough MP to knock this guy out. This is a problem now. And I need to heal up the boy. I'm lucky I also get to heal up the sprite. I did get to heal up the sprite. So I was slightly too liberal this time with my MP. Now we have to finish him off with physical attacks. And I missed. Which unfortunately that miss is going to happen about... Sprite survives at 1 HP. That miss is going to happen about 7 out of 10 times. 30% chance to miss. There we go, that's what I wanted to say. Because he has evasion, of course. But hey. Second time's the charm, and unfortunately I do not get to tell Minotaur that he is defeated. I got to tell the Frost Gigas that he is defeated now. 30% is 7 out of 10 times. I said that wrong, didn't I? I missed 30% of the time, I hit 70% of the time. Plushie, thank you! Thank you so much for 59 months of support, welcome back, and I'm glad you enjoy your stay. I hope you're doing well. You don't know much about this anymore, is that even a number? 59 is usually considered a number, yes. A reasonably high number too, in this context anyways. So thank you very much. Alrighty, I need to be a lot more careful this time around. Because for some reason it just didn't occur to me that this would be one of the... This might actually be the biggest reset point if I die right there on the way back. Like in terms of how much time I lose. That was like 12 minutes lost right there. It's actually quite significant. Cookie eater. Hello. Enjoy your cookies. I like cookies. Hello from Australia. Hello. Hello from Switzerland. I do believe Australia is pretty close to the 23 number already. And welcome. I hope you're doing well. I wish you a happy new year. You were literally half a screen away from being able to get over here. Hello and welcome. Only having some few fixed points to save is such an outdated mechanic, and it's good that most games don't work that way anymore. Yeah, I would say it's probably largely a limitation of like the engine, I guess, that you can only save in under specific circumstances because it's just not set up to be working that way in general. But also, I guess game design philosophy has evolved. Like, if you want to have a game that only has fixed checkpoints, like the checkpoints feel like they should have a reason as to why they are there. It can be to make, well, the game more difficult if you have to one-shot an entire segment with enemies as well as a boss at the same time. Some more of the face bits again. That's fair. Thank you so much, Plushie. We should add some more of the face bits back again. Because why not? Welcome to the Fire Temple. I'm just gonna try and run through here, I think. I was initially considering just grinding here for a little while, but in hindsight, it's really not all that necessary. Alright, talk about flames. End of the line. Well, I mean, we do have our elemental spirit of fire just helping us out here, so we're good to go. Through the fire and flames. Our spirit will carry on. Also, that might have looked really harmless, me just kind of scooting by that blob over there, but it is in fact actually very tight to get past that red blob without getting nuked. These enemies here have relatively low HP, and they give decent experience and money, so I'm actually taking a slight amount of time, just gather slightly more money than you would normally do in a glitchless speedrun. For the sake of safety, really. Then again, is it really safer if I actually just kind of have my characters killed by accident because they take more damage? Probably not. By the way, there is a chest here in this dungeon that contains a weapon orb, but I do not have to go and pick it up. Because the only chests I need to go and pick up for the respective weapon orbs are the latest ones in the line. Because the game will always make sure that the latest weapon orb chest contains, well, all the orbs you need. Or up to a certain level anyways. Which is also why in a glitched 100% run I would actually be able to squeeze by certain enemies and bosses to skip certain weapon orbs, go and grab the chests later, and then come back in order to get one more weapon orb than you would otherwise get. You actually only have to grind for half of the weapon orbs in a glitched 100% run. Alrighty, welcome to the Minotaur. He is weak to wind, and so I'm trying to position us right in a way where they are hitting the projectiles of the wind blast immediately onto the Minotaur. I can do this in this fight because the Minotaur himself is not that dangerous. Worst case scenario, he's going to cast an earth-based spell onto the sprite, and that is single target, so it's not in risk of nuking my entire party. Even in modern development, you see autosave systems warning you about not powering down when excitement is shown. Saving is a dangerous destructive procedure. It can definitely be. What I will say about saving is you need to make like separate backup saves if you have an autosave system, in case some people just happened to lose power or anything like that. Which, by the way, one of the interesting things I tend to find is a variety of older games, at least, have like a double save system, where if they somehow detect that a previous save file has been corrupted in some capacity, they actually often have a backup, so both of those save files would have to be both corrupted at the same time in order for it to fail. It's actually quite interesting, I think. Alright, we actually have some magic to spare. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to take a slight bit of time to just knock out some bosses and enemies along the way here, to level up some spells that I would not normally go for These spider legs in those areas are actually weak to fire. Yeah, wind. Why did I say fire? I'm not sure about the duck dudes. They could be weak to earth, but I'm really not sure about that. Looks like they're reasonably weak anyways. But this way I'm gaining both a bit more money along the way, which, well, helps with getting supplies for safety resources, but also more spell experience along the way for leveling up spell schools, which definitely helps. Guess Salamander's the last one to train here. Nice. Happy New Year. Or Humpy New Year in this case. What will it be? We buy all our fairy walnuts back. Oh, we didn't even use too many. Oh, right, my usual glitchless route actually includes defeating a lot of enemies in the Fire Palace with spells to level up spells along the way while I still have enough fairy walnut supplies. And here, this is kind of the threshold where if you use fairy walnuts to recover MP to defeat enemies along the way, you actually just about get the same amount of money back compared to how much you invest for a fairy walnut for the MP recovered. So it's kind of like a zero-sum game right now. But previously it would be very, very expensive to recover MP with fairy walnuts just to train the spells. But this is kind of where enemies will give more and more money, so each individual fairy walnut is much less of an issue to just recover. This is your favorite level up spot when you played this last, since it's right next to town. It is really good actually, I agree. It's probably going to be one of the spots that I will be using today as well. Six, 634. Alrighty, so I don't really have to, well, I have a lot to say right now. So I hope you're all comfy, I hope you have a good time, and as I mentioned before, if you have a friend that would potentially enjoy watching this, maybe just kind of poke them and give the link to this channel. And if not, because you don't feel like it, that's okay too. Enjoy your lurk, I hope you enjoy your stay. Ow. I could cast some more spells here, but the main spell I'm going to cast here is actually Lava Wave, just to lock the enemies into animations for long enough, so we can easily scoot by. SBQ92, thank you so much for subscribing for 16 months with Prime Game. If you have an Amazon Prime thingy, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. You don't have to use it here, but it would be nice if you give it to some streamer that, well, you would like in some capacity. Yeah. Oh my goodness, they do not let me through. Actually, these fishy are weak to fire. Does that just knock them out? The animation for Lava Wave is so slow. Yeah, control characters love going the wrong way. Yes, this did just knock him out. Fishy. Come on, guys. Do not enter this screen here with a boy that is a snowman, because you will soft lock the game. Welcome to you, Hakisaba. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm doing quite well overall. I hope so do you. If anyone has ever bricked quote-unquote their save state by writing it right before dying, that's the reason why they don't let you save anywhere. Yes, that is definitely a part of the deal. And I have done that in the past. Which kind of taught me to make different save states at different times. So when I originally discovered emulators for the Super Nintendo, I used save states all over the place, and honestly, I still say that it is kind of a fine way to play. Nothing wrong with that. Especially if that just allows you to beat a game that you would not otherwise be able to beat. It's still very, very nice to be able to just save anywhere. Similarly, I always say that any game can be more or less improved if you include like a cheat menu or something like that, which allows you to just go, you know, you're not supposed to have this, but hey, if you need a bit of a boost, here you go. Preferably one that is not unlocked by buying microtransactions. But yeah. Oh, Max Zeref, thank you. Thank you for subscribing with Prime Gaming. Welcome to you, and I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Either way, where was I? Oh yeah, save states. When I originally discovered Super Nintendo emulators, I just save stated all the time. And eventually I just went save state on F1. 5 seconds later, save state on F2. 5 seconds later, save state F3. And I just kind of went through the list until I beat certain games. I would basically never actually do regular saves in games. Which, by the way, is kind of an interesting point. Certain bugs in some video games were not discovered because they only specifically happen if you... I need to reset this. They only specifically happen if you... play through the entirety of the game in one sitting without ever saving and loading in between. Like Dragon View is a pretty obscure Super Nintendo game. It's pretty good, by the way. And PJD Caesar at some point did some speedruns and randomly called the credits at one particular spot in the game, which just is kind of mind-blowing that this even could happen. Like, the data corruption just happened to line up in a way where he ended up getting more to the credits, and that was just fascinating to see that story unravel. Here is Secret of Mana 100%, indeed. Gar, thank you. Thank you so much for 68 months of support. Welcome back for quite a long time, and well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Did you know that the Evil Ruins theme, this one, is actually called Indonesian music style called gamelan? I've known that at some point, but I forgot as well. So now I know again.